News with Gina.
The News with Gina Grad.
Well, some new Harvey Weinstein news. He has reached a tentative $25 million settlement with dozens of his alleged victims, according to TMZ. So according to the deal, Weinstein will not be required to admit any wrongdoing or pay anything to his accusers himself. Insurance companies representing the Weinstein Company will make those payments. The accusers whose allegations included sexual harassment and rape will share the payout.
The insurance company?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not a big payout. 18 of them will split $6.2 million, while $18.5 million will be set aside for those in a class action case and future claimants, assuming that more people will come forward.
It's this.
What are the chances of that?
No, zero.
It's kind of my, like, we have this such a weird sort of system legally, like Aaron Andrews gets $35 million for being filmed, not knowing it.
Right.
Like, she didn't even know she was violated when she was being violated. So she's filmed through the peephole, the Holiday Inn door, and she's like, that's good for $35 million. And if you talk to Mark Garagos and you hear about some guy getting shot, by that popo, on his front lawn, and I'll go like, he was unarmed. He was coming home from work. The cops got a call. They thought it was a prowler. He reached for a burrito. They thought it was a gun. And I'll go like, how much is that worth, Mark? And he's like, 350 grand, probably.
Wow.
I'm like, he's dead. Yeah.
Earning
But
potential.
he was like a janitor, Like, she's hot. She was in front of a door. Like, $35 million. Like,
Yeah.
So she was violated, but not physically touched. And she gets 35, and then these chicks they get 1-1 each or 1-2 or whatever. They whack it up for being physically violated. It's just a weird.
Yeah.
And then the other guy's dead.
Yeah.
His survivor. He's got 3 kids.
It's a sliding
He got
scale,
300
baby.
grand.
But it's a scale that slides ambiguously or
Yes.
arbitrarily.
Right.
Arbitrarily.
Well,
Right.
and because I remember Mark talking about earning potential at one point, and then it's same thing with a hospital. If there's a wrongful death, well, it depends how old the person was. How many more good earning years did they have?
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it also just kind of depends who has money, like who can cut these checks.
Right.
When's he going to settle up with American Standard?
That's a very good
Class
question.
He's
action.
damaged.
Plenty of potted
Their
plants.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Major League Baseball, surprised Chet didn't know about
Now,
this.
brother. Well, my monkey testosterone kicked in a little early last night, and I slept.
Oh, that makes sense. You'll probably have something to say about it. Major League Baseball and its players union have agreed to a new drug policy that will include opioid testing, but will not punish players for using marijuana. This comes 5 months after LA Angels pitchers Tyler Skaggs died in a Texas hotel room with 2 opioids in his system. So the policy will likely be officially announced this week and will start next season. Under the new plan, players who test positive for opioids are expected to get treatment. They won't face suspension. Previously, Major League Baseball players hadn't been tested for opioids or weed if there wasn't reasonable cause. But now everyone's getting tested, and you go to treatment instead of fined and suspend.
So weed stays in your system, whereas like cocaine doesn't.
Probably.
It is
Like
that.
take hair
That
samples
is that. The pot will stay in for a long time. Coke is like in and out. So
Noted.
Coke you can do, and pot you can't. But also, my always thing was in terms of athletes is like performance enhancing.
Yeah.
If it's not enhancing your performance, then
Far from
I'm not really interested. I remember a boxer got stripped of his title many years ago because they tested positive for weed. And it's like, that is
He's a
not
hero.
a performance enhancing drug. I don't care. And also, these guys, they have to have like pain management and stuff like that, especially like NFL guys and stuff like that. If they want to eat an edible or do some weed or whatever, that is their goddamn business.
Yeah. These days, CBD commercials are on network television.
If they tested for beef eaters, the Yankees would have 0 world championships.
Wow.
Mickey Mantle hammered the entire time out on the field.
By the way, just going back a story, I don't know if you guys saw this picture, but did you
Chris
see...
Arriola stripped of a victory, and it's an unfortunate name for a guy
Arriola?
who has to perform his job with his shirt off.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Arriola's tough if you're a mechanic, but if you have to do a shirt off job and your last name's
Even the guy in the fourth row is going, I don't see the deal. What's the deal?
Jeffrey
with the name?
Gunt.
Chris Arreola is a Hispanic heavyweight. He was like before the last Hispanic heavyweight.
Almost no Arreola.
Tiny Arreola.
He was like the one guy who sort of had a chance at being the first Hispanic heavyweight title holder. He never really made it to that area.
Hey, you think he likes biblical tattoos?
He's got a lot of biblical tattoos.
What did you say his name was? Chris Arreola, but he has Alex on his trunks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Had to borrow those from his brother, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw this picture going back a couple stories, but did you see Weinstein sort of shuffle in with his walker? Do you think that was a sympathy plea or what's going on?
Yeah, that's Jimmy the Jaw or whatever. What is that mobster who had to pretend like his pajamas?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did they call him? Jimmy the...
I forget. Jimmy, not Jimmy the Gent. That was
some of the Jaw.
Goodfellas.
Vincent the Chin.
The Chin.
No,
the Chin.
the
Chin.
Jimmy Gentleman is one of Kimmel's best buddies from back in the day, and one of the most awesome named guys ever. Jimmy Gentleman?
Yeah.
Jimmy Gentleman.
Yeah.
The guy's name. And he's a perfect
Feel like
gentleman.
his given name?
It's his given
No
name.
shit. No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jimmy Gentleman. Yeah, he's in Vegas working, I don't know. That's a sweet guy. Talk to him. Anyway.
I have a friend whose last name is Goodfriend.
Oh, that's
and
good.
they're delightful. Everybody likes him.
To live up to that.
Is the one who wants to bone?
No, there's a gentleman.
Oh.
The gentleman who wants to buy.
You can't bone it?
He may.
So Weinstein is doing the crazy mob boss in his pajamas shuffling off
with the
thing.
Didn't Suge Knight kind of do that too? Or was that
Everybody-
legit?
I pulled that off for months.
That's right.
The walker.
Everybody does some version. I mean, they if you're the dude who's accused of rape or whatever, they put you in the cardigan.
Oh,
and,
dude.
what would
Yeah.
The Menendez brothers in the iconic sweaters.
Yeah, what would Mr. Rogers wear?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the trashiest Mr. Rogers. Like they don't put you in a top hat,
No.
tails.
I always love the tennis ball on the walkers, too, because this is the sporting equipment that can go single-handedly faster than anything on Earth. So the tennis ball can be launched at 200 miles an hour.
Right.
And now
It's
it's just
down.
scuffing along
Yeah.
the bottom of
Courtroom
some
floor.
moron's walker that he's trying to fake it.
I told you when I used to work at Hugo Boss a million years ago, there would be men. There was a handful of times that someone would come in and say, I need a suit. And I'd say, no problem. What are you looking for? And I've heard before something that makes me look innocent.
Right.
And so that became,
Wow.
I always went with navy blue. I thought, not a black suit for this. That's
Navy
not the
blue's
way to go.
good. Yeah.
So the daughter of, speaking of which, the daughter of Felicity Huffman has been accepted to a very elite college. This time.
The notion that we know so much about this non-entity, this zero
Strap
fucking
in.
burger. God
Strap
damn.
in for this crazy update. Georgia Macy received an early acceptance letter to Vassar. Georgia Macy changed her Instagram bio to Vassar 2024. So Georgia's big sister needed assistance on standardized tests. Felicity Huffman pleaded guilty to paying a proctor $15,000 to alter Sophie Macy's test scores. Her SAT score improved by several hundred points, but it's so crazy because it's $15,000.
Do we know who the proctor is?
No, I mean, I don't know. There's multiple, right? It's not just the one guy.
You look him up at proctorologists.
Jesus Christ.
That's good.
You're taking a gamble. That's a Procter Gamble right there.
I could be wrong, but I thought there's more than one proctor.
Work that into a sponsorship. Procter Gamble. You're going to pay someone to
work.
push kids through your school. You're taking
Sometimes
a gamble.
jokes don't work.
He's writing it down right now.
Dr. Gamble. I like it.
I just want to know. Like,
Maybe
I'd like
your
to
kid
do.
gets in, maybe he doesn't.
I'd like to do a little
Procter Gamble.
a little A and B, which is picture of daughter you're trying to get into prestigious school. Picture of person who actually took the test, and just see if America would be would they be 100% or 110% on picking them out. Asian
Good
with
question.
crazy part in his hair, just insane part.
Yeah, that's very good.
I bet we could do that. I bet
Oh, man.
our batting average would be through the goddamn roof on that.
That's incredible.
Olivia Newton-John got her Grease jacket back, the one she auctioned. So the anonymous Australian benefactor who bought the iconic jacket during last month's bidding that benefited her Melbourne-based cancer treatment center returned it to her. The buyer says it should not sit in a billionaire's closet for country club bragging rights.
You know what my move is?
When a country club was bragging about that, guess what I got? Nice Porsche. Guess what I got?
17.
He'll never know.
When I do my move, where I drag my back of my hand down your cheek and talk about what we could have been together.
Yeah.
When I do the move with the celebrity who's getting a little long in the tooth, and then buy their outfit
iconic
online from when they were in their prime. When I give it back to them, when I present it to them, I hand it to them, and they take it. I give it a little tug back my way. That's what sends the message.
That's
what I mean?
loud and clear.
I don't let go. I just pull it a little back toward my chest, and now
Nuance.
they understand what is going on.
Right, and why.
Before, you just thought I was a fan who was magnanimous, but when you feel just that little tug.
Cue the Toto song.
That's right.
We're done with this scene.
Now we know.
Yeah. Now I hope that didn't happen.
You know what I had in the back. You know what I was doing the whole time. It's just a slight. You just hang on to it a little bit, and you just pull it just a little bit.
Message sent.
Yeah.
Message sent.
Olivia calls it the most incredibly generous thing that could have happened.
No,
she's
he didn't
so
do
grateful.
the tug.
Oh.
And she's blown away.
She's what?
Now remember, the jacket sold for $243,000, and there's no word on whether she's planning on selling it again, which I think would be incredibly uncouth.
Crass.
Yeah. Déclassé.
Well,
Gauche.
she can't be rolling in dough, or can
she has money.
Yeah, but there's cancer kids out there going, let her sell it again.
That's right. It was all for charity.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you don't know. It's like, did she own the publishing rights?
Right.
Did she sign away the publishing rights? You get the feeling she didn't write those songs.
She didn't write Xanadu?
We'd have to look up the writing credits. She sold records when selling records meant something. She was
huge. She definitely sold a bunch of records.
That's what we need to know.
But there had to be some Jewish guy writing all that, or some chick with a short haircut, right?
She's still in Australia, right?
I think the days of the Sherman brothers locked in the room
are they done?
Writing killer hits.
She is still in Australia, like low overhead, right? She's not like living in Maldives.
Listen. First off, this notion.
So she didn't make as much as.
No, I'm saying she didn't spend as much.
I'm saying it's like
overhead.
Mike Tyson's made $500 million.
He was living.
Didn't have a penny.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Living large.
I don't know what rules I have for whether someone has money or not anymore, because people squander fortunes and they don't. But I would assume she had some money. Everywhere online says her net worth is worth $40 million.
Damn.
So
there you go.
Why didn't she? Anyway, she sold an estimated 100 million records worldwide.
Whoa! Damn. Back when that meant something.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
It's 40 cents a record. That's not very good.
I wonder if
shafted.
Did she write those songs?
She didn't write Physical.
No, that was just trumped up. Whatever. All right.
Wait, what songs are you referring to? Like something from Grease?
Well, I did the toolbox. I did one for the toolbox a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I know she didn't write that one.
Yeah,
that song's awesome.
She had her own. She had her own hits
outside
of the musical.
There was an Australian songwriter that she did a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, there's like Xanadu. She probably didn't write that. Grease, obviously not. Then Physical, she didn't write. And then Night is Dragon. With a Little My Love. Little My Love, what's that called? Stop. Oh, God, I love that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not the rabbit hole I thought we'd be in.
Yeah.
You never know. That's why you have to show
Little
up.
More Love. Little More Love.
That's why they play the game.
Something like that. Anyway. Sorry.
Well, this is one way to handle a problem. Very interested in what you guys think. During a city council meeting this week, Oakland, California's city council president Rebecca Kaplan broached the idea of using a cruise ship to house up to 1,000 homeless people. She noted that cruise ships
This is the first step towards Snowpiercer.
Oh, God. Have been used for emergency housing after natural disasters and for extra housing at even the Olympics. Kaplan told the Chronicle she plans to present a proposal to the council in January that will be at no or low cost to the city because residents of the cruise ship would pay for their room and board based on income. Meanwhile, the city would not buy the cruise ship.
How is it that they would pay, though? How's that one really going to work? Like, it's not going to cost the city anything. Really? How's that going to work? The people that are hooked on drugs and don't have a job.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Be the captain of the ship, or the
you have to staff?
They got to work the ship. Yeah,
boatsman's mate, first mate.
Yeah, maybe
Isaac.
it's
What are the
kibbutz
jobs
on the water.
I don't think these people have income other than sort of panhandling.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Well, she also thinks she can get a company to provide a ship, so that would be a huge expense.
Here's the deal. As I was thinking about this, I was doing an interview when I was driving in to have this meeting with the Seinfeld guys, and the person said like, "Oh, we were talking about no safe spaces," and they were talking about Evergreen State, and a whole liberal professor got all surrounded by the angry mob. These are kids, and they're angry, and I said, I don't blame the kids. They're 19. They're just angry and pushing against something, and there's no Vietnam War to push against, so they're going to find something that's a non-issue and push against it, no matter what it is. They're like when a dog gets a chew toy and starts pulling one direction, and you're holding the other end of that little rope chew toy, you can spin 360 degrees 5 times around. They're just pulling. They're not really... Right. They don't have a direction.
They don't care where they end up.
They don't want to end up anywhere. They're pulling. They're doing what a dog does. They're doing what the 19-year-olds do. And it's the faculty, and it's the administration, and it's the dean and the president, whatever. These are the people who should be calling the cops, who are in charge. These are the people who are caving. And I said, it's no different than homeless. There's going to be homeless. Homeless are people who will do as much as they can do, especially in a town. They'll go to the best place and they'll live there for free if you permit them to do that. There's a lot. You take Los Angeles. There's plenty of space out in Pacoima and Sunland and Sun Valley to crash if you want, but it's a dangerous, dicey, dirty piece of shit territory. And Adam Schiff, by the way, when he's done with this impeachment thing, needs to get back to Sunland and Sun Valley. That is his turf, as Pasadena and everywhere else, and Glendale as well. But they end up in Santa Monica because it's or in Venice. Venice, it's nicer. It's by the ocean, and a house in Venice costs $3 million, and a house in Pacoima costs $310,000. Like, it is literally 10 times as much. So, as long as they're 11 miles apart, where would you live for free?
Venice.
The safer place that had nicer houses and less crime. And they're just going to do what they do. They're going to be in San Francisco. They're not going to be in Pahrump. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's whatever. It's a bunch of dirt.
Hard to spell.
You got Heidi Fleiss and her macaws. You'll be attacked. You know what it's like being attacked by a macaw when you're asleep?
Unpleasant.
It's brutal.
Wow.
Believe you me.
I don't want anything to do with her.
I would be triggered if I got into the full story, but the night I bivouacked at Heidi Fleiss's house is something I'll get into on a later podcast. So they will essentially do what they will do. Now, and a lot of them are, schizophrenic and drug addicts and stuff like that. We need to be the parents. As long as we, the mayor and the city council and stuff, as long as we're not being parents, they're going to do what they're going to do on college campuses. 19-year-olds are going to do what they're going to do, and homeless people are going to do what they do. And if you don't believe me, how many homeless people were there 2 years ago versus today? Like when you just drive around,
there's
it's just
a spike.
More. They'll just more. There is no. You just let it go. It's more. It's herpes. You have to treat it, or it just spreads. That's the way it works, and you have to make uncomfortable decisions that make you the man. Whether you're running the college. I'm calling the cops, young teens. They are going to spread you out by hook or by crook, and you have to do the same thing as the mayor and the city council or whatever. The boat is pretty much going to lead to another boat and just lead to another boat. That's how it works. They'll go where the getting's good. I mean, people who are involved with this, it's like, well, there's more crime. There's more break-ins around the Christmas season. Like, why? Because there's a bunch of stuff laying around and people go out of town. So there's a certain percentage of our population that is just going to kind of go where it's easiest to go and do where it's easiest to do. That's how it works. You've got to start implementing something.
What if?
Yes.
The whole thing works. It's at capacity. Then about 3 a.m. someone comes along and just undoes the knot.
Does the champagne against the bottom and
it just
set sail?
Just gently floats out to sea.
Sets them adrift. Give them a Viking funeral. takes a single flare gun, fires in slow motion, one arcing shot.
One majestic arc.
By the way, I'm now going to include flare guns with quicksand in terms of things that I thought I would be running into a lot as an adult. Like when I was a kid, there were 2 movies. There was one where someone got stuck in quicksand and then someone where someone had to use a flare gun to ignite something or to shoot it into a chest of a villain or something.
There was attention.
There was flare guns being used quite
They were
liberally.
ubiquitous.
They were ubiquitous. I haven't seen one in 23 years on TV.
All the flare gun shops are out of business.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Big flare?
Yeah, big.
They're out. Thank God I moved a lot of my
Flare
stock.
Up? Is that a gay bar? Flare Up?
The Flare Up. Worst name for a gay bar ever. Second only to my Mr. Fister. All right, Gina, let's do one more.
Okay. Oh, well, then hold on, because I love this story. So one woman is now having the last laugh after discovering that her former boyfriend, was cheating on her. And this is how she found out. His physical activity levels mysteriously spiked on his Fitbit that they had synced together. So last week, NFL Network reporter
Speaking of sync, I got to take care of some business in a minute,
Jesus.
so let's bring this
I guess it is your warehouse.
Honey, you did a lot of thrusting last afternoon.
That's right. Jane Slater replied to a fellow correspondent's tweet about the Peloton bike ad and brands, the controversy and everything we've talked about by sharing the story of her former boyfriend's fitness tracker fail. Her shocking admission has gone viral with over 46,000 shares, comments. People are loving this story. So she explained that her ex-boyfriend got her a Fitbit for Christmas and she loved it. She says the couple synced theirs together in order to motivate each other. The reporter said that led the man to being unaccounted for at 4 a.m. when his physical activities spiked through the roof on the app on her Fitbit. Though the 38-year-old reporter said she sobbed uncontrollably when she put this whole thing together, she has since moved on and said it's pretty funny.
So if there's activity and a lot of activity, I mean, I guess you treat it like your credit card company.
Yeah, that's right.
That you
That's right.
bought a snowmobile and you live in Nevada and you've never bought a snowmobile before.
We've detected unusual activity.
Unusual, right?
Well, the Fitbit company should send out a warning like the credit card company so the guy can slow down.
Yeah.
Or take it off
a little bit.
The new option's called the cock block. You can set it on a cock block setting, and then that's them contacting
then
the old
take
lady.
a break and you discuss Garrett Cole's contract with the Yankees for a couple of minutes.
We did talk about a story, I don't know if it was this year or last year, about that murder that got solved because of the Fitbit. Because they could tell at that time there was no activity, so their heart had already stopped. So Fitbits are solving crimes right and left.
Yeah.
So they didn't live together.
He was unaccounted for at 4 a.m. So
home,
it seems like they may have, but either way, she could not get a hold of him or he was not in bed next to her. Who knows?
Yeah, because you're living together, it's tough to be gone at 4 a.m.
Unless you're going to bar class, right, Brian?
You're rolling the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're rolling
Be
the
right back.
dice. But lots of activity at 4 a.m. What the hell else is that going to
That's right.
Yeah.
Not going to be?
I should have claimed he was masturbating with the wrist and the thing on the wrist.
The thing
For 45 minutes?
No, I
How do you
know it's
masturbate?
become a theme. But yeah, I think Brian can work an angle here. Now I don't know that it's like a self-winding watch. I don't think it's all about the jack move. But by the way, you know how I have the guy, remember I said I told the guy who breaks in my loafers now walks my dog?
Right.
I do the same move, the self-winding watch.
Oh,
you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
spank
Jerking
section.
it.
I'll just go throw it on just
Makes sense.
because I'm efficient.
Right.
You know what I mean? But this is
so efficient.
This is more just calories burnt, right?
Yeah.
It's not that movement, but I think an argument, if I were him, I would say 4 a.m., totally alone, just me and a bottle of Jack Daniels. And I was thinking of you.
And
I had
my mind.
way too much. Way too much to drink, and I
should have left it alone.
I was determined.
Yeah, you would get on my mind.
I pulled a calf muscle. I went down, a little pause in the middle. That's me writhing in pain.
Wow.
Rubbing my
Cramping up.
calf.
Yeah, it's right, cramping
I pulled
up.
a cramp.
There may be a way you could turn it around. You could say, I didn't want to tell you this, but I was building the gazebo in which I thought we could get married, but you apparently need to know everything that I'm doing.
Oh, by all means, lead me to the gazebo.
Yeah.
Well, drawing plans.
Bango. All you got to do is buy one.
Yeah.
They build them. They're right at Home Depot. They keep them out there by the insecticide.
Look, a lot of it, I clad it in knotty pine. A lot of those knot holes are very inviting.
That's right.
And so if this is what you're picking up,
it's winking right at me.
Yeah, I don't. If you said I was alone, I was drunk, I was thinking of you at 4 a.m., and I was having trouble. I think most guys can identify with I drank a little too much, but I'm also super determined.
Question. Have you ever had that happen to you and had the physical end result be as telling as having like crazy sex with somebody? Are you dripping wet? Are you heaving?
Is there a
crime?
Is there a thing on the Fitbit that says it's crazy sex?
I mean, it's spiked. It's spiked.
I've had whiskey hand.
You're not going to spike when you're.
He could be changing a tire.
Whiskey wrist.
Whiskey wrist. I've had a few bouts of whiskey wrist, and
okay.
it can happen. You go to a strip club, you see a lot of chicks shaking their money makers.
Your whiskey wrist.
Some guys buying shots of Jaeger for everybody. Sure. You get home with your intent is strong, but
the goal is there.
Yeah,
the will is there.
The will is there, man. You got a spank bank loaded up, but you also got too many Jaeger bombs in you. But you're not going to bed before you take care of this business. Look, I'm not a jack-off lawyer.
But if I was.
Just say lawyer.
I feel like I could make a case.
Okay.
If you gave me a little Garrigus, this be a layup for him to do this shit in his sleep.
Well, I wonder what that's worth on the price scale.
Oh, yeah.
So, Max Zapata, do we know, does the Fitbit just shows prolonged activity for a long period of time?
I had a Fitbit for a while, a long time ago, and it showed heart rate, steps, things of that nature. So it does kind of break it down into, a little more granular than just.
Well, that was wild sex if he's got 57 staircases.
Yeah, it would be heart rate.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's having a nightmare in his car.
Yeah, exactly.
Alone.
There's got to be some butt dials.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
people are
the
going
whole
to get
story.
butt. You can't cheat. You can't bribe cops. You can't
do anything anymore.
It's not worth being rich.
Can't do anything anymore.
It's not worth it. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. I got to peel one out now. Oh.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.